My fiancée told her friends she was marrying me for my house and divorcing me for alimony. My best friend helped her plan it. And my own mother told me to marry her anyway, for appearances. That was enough for my villain arc. So I decided to burn it all down. I'm Dominic, 34, software engineer. 6 months ago, I thought I had everything figured out. Beautiful fiancée named Jessica, wedding planned for spring, a house I'd worked my ass off to buy in my 20s. I thought I was living the dream. I was living a nightmare and I didn't even know it. It started 3 weeks before the wedding. Jessica had been staying over more frequently, basically living with me at that point. We were combining our lives, or so I thought. Thursday night, I got home early from work. My project finished ahead of schedule, so I left at 4 instead of 7. I texted Jessica, but she didn't respond. Not unusual, she was a teacher and sometimes couldn't check her phone. I walked into my own house and heard voices upstairs. Female voices. Laughing. Jessica was having her friends over. Perfectly normal, except I recognized one of those voices. Amanda. My best friend Garrett's wife. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. I was heading upstairs to say hi when I heard my name. Dominic has no idea, does he? That was Amanda. None. He's so trusting it's almost sad. Jessica's voice. Laughing. I froze on the stairs. And you're really going through with it? Another voice. Probably Sarah, Jessica's college friend. Obviously. Do you know what his house is worth? He bought it for $280K 8 years ago. It's worth $650K now. California community property laws are beautiful things. My blood went cold. But you have to stay married for at least a year, right? Amanda asked. 18 months to be safe. That's what Garrett said. His cousin's a divorce attorney. After 18 months, I file for divorce, cite irreconcilable differences, and walk away with half of everything. The house, his retirement accounts, savings. He makes $140K a year and barely spends anything. Do you know how much he has saved? How much? Sarah sounded fascinated. His 401K alone is worth over $300K, and he has about $200K in index funds. The man is obsessed with financial independence. Was obsessed, Jessica corrected herself. Past tense. Because half of that is mine the second we say, I do. They all laughed. I felt like I was going to throw up. What about the prenup? Amanda asked. What prenup? I cried when he brought it up. Told him if he really loved me, he'd trust me. Told him my parents would be so hurt if they thought he didn't consider me family. He folded in like 3 minutes. Men are so predictable when you know which buttons to push. And Garrett helped you plan all this? Sarah sounded impressed. Garrett's been incredible. He's the one who told me about the 18-month rule. He's the one who coached me on what to say about the prenup. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do without him. My best friend. My best friend since college. The guy who was supposed to be my best man in 3 weeks. So what's the exit strategy? Sarah asked. I'll start documenting emotional abuse around month 16. Nothing physical, obviously, but I'll keep a journal about how he belittles me and makes me feel unsafe. I'll tell my therapist, already set that up by the way. Create a paper trail. Then when I file, I look like the victim and he looks like the bad guy. I might even be able to get spousal support on top of the asset split. That's genius, Amanda said. Cold-blooded, but genius. It's just business, Jessica said. Look, I like Dominic. He's nice. But nice doesn't pay for the life I want. 18 months of playing housewife is a small price to pay for financial freedom. I can divorce him, take my $500,000 or whatever, and actually live my life. What if he fights it? Sarah asked. He won't. Dominic's a people pleaser. Conflict makes him physically uncomfortable. Garrett says he'll probably just give me whatever I want to make it end faster. And if he does fight, well, that's what the emotional abuse documentation is for. I'd heard enough. Actually, no. I hadn't heard enough. I needed evidence. I backed down the stairs silently. My hands were shaking. I pulled out my phone and opened the voice recorder app. Then I went back up, recording. I got another 5 minutes of them discussing the plan. Jessica talking about which furniture she'd take. Amanda suggesting she get pregnant right before filing because child support is guaranteed income. Jessica laughing and saying she'd thought about it but didn't want to be tied to me that long. They talked about me like I was a mark, a target, a paycheck. When they finally changed subjects, I quietly left my house. My house that I'd worked 60-hour weeks to afford. My house that I'd lovingly renovated. My house that Jessica was planning to take half of. I sat in my car for 20 minutes listening to the recording 3 times. Making sure it was clear. Making sure it was damning. Then I called the one person I knew I could trust. My sister, Rachel. Dom? What's wrong? You sound weird. I played her the recording. Silence. Then, oh my God, Dominic. That absolute. I know. You're calling off the wedding, right? Tell me you're calling off the wedding. I'm calling off the wedding. But Rachel, Garrett was helping her. Garrett knows all my financial information. He's the one I talked to about whether to do a prenup. He's the one who. My voice broke. He knew, Rachel said quietly. He knew the whole time and he helped her. I need a lawyer. Not Garrett's cousin, obviously. Someone who specializes in, I don't know, fraud? Is this fraud? This is something. Let me call my friend Vincent. He's a shark. If anyone can help you, it's him. Rachel set up an emergency meeting for the next morning. That night I stayed at a hotel. I texted Jessica saying I had to fly out for a work emergency and would be back Sunday. She responded, "Okay babe. Miss you already," face blowing a kiss. I wanted to throw my phone through a window. Vincent Russo was everything Rachel promised. Mid-40s, expensive suit, eyes like a shark. I played him the recording. He listened without interrupting. When it ended, he leaned back in his chair. "Well, you just saved yourself roughly $500,000. Congratulations. Can I use this? Is it legal? California is a two-party consent state for recordings, so this wouldn't be admissible in court. However, you're not trying to prosecute anyone. You're trying to protect your assets. The recording gives you leverage and information. You know her strategy, which means you can counteract it. So what do I do? First, do not confront her. Do not tell her you know. Do not give her any indication that anything has changed. You want me to pretend everything's fine? I want you to be strategic. If you confront her now, she'll deny everything and possibly accelerate her timeline. She might try to rush the wedding, or she might flip the script and claim you're abusive. Right now, you have the element of surprise. Don't waste it." He slid a business card across the desk. "This is a private investigator. Very discreet. I want documentation of every interaction she has with Garrett. If they're planning fraud, I want evidence. What about the wedding? Call it off, but do it smart. You need a reason that doesn't make you look suspicious. Do you have any family issues you could use? Sick relative? Work crisis that's verifiable?" I thought about it. My dad has a heart condition. It's managed, but I could say he had an episode and I need to postpone until he's stable. Perfect. That's sympathetic and unprovable. She can't exactly demand medical records. Postpone indefinitely. Then, and this is crucial, do not resume the relationship. End it, but do it in a way that makes it look like mutual stress, not because you discovered her plan. Over the next week, I followed Vincent's playbook to the letter. I called Jessica, a voice full of fake emotion, and told her dad had chest pains and was in the hospital. I needed to postpone the wedding. We couldn't plan anything until we knew he was okay. Jessica's response was interesting. Not concern for my father. Not sympathy. Her first question was, "How long are we postponing?" "I don't know, Jess. Maybe 6 months? A year?" Silence. Then in a tight voice, "A year? My dad's health is more important than a party, Jessica." Of course it is. We've already paid deposits. We'll lose some money. But it's worth it for Dad." Another pause. "Can I come stay with you? Support you through this?" "Actually, I'm staying with my parents right now. Helping my mom. It's pretty crowded." All lies. Dad was fine. I was living in a hotel working with Vincent and his PI. The PI, a woman named Sandra, was worth every penny. Within 3 days, she had photos of Jessica and Garrett meeting at coffee shops. At his office. At a park near her school. Within a week, she had recordings, legal ones from public places where there's no expectation of privacy. Garrett to Jessica. "The postponement is bad. You're not getting any younger. We need to find you a new Mark if Dominic's serious about waiting a year." A new Mark. I showed the photos to Vincent. "Do you want to go nuclear?" he asked. "What does nuclear look like?" Restraining order against both of them. Cease and desist for harassment and fraud conspiracy. Public exposure. Salted earth. But I need to warn you, your social circle will implode. Garrett's wife doesn't know. Your mutual friends don't know. This will detonate every relationship in your life. I thought about Amanda, laughing along with Jessica's plan. "Amanda knows," I said. "She was there when Jessica laid it all out. She was giving advice." Vincent's eyebrows rose. Garrett's wife knew and didn't tell him? Or Garrett knows his wife knows? I don't know. but she was encouraging it. Then burn it down, Vincent said simply. You owe these people nothing. I decided to detonate everything on a Sunday. Sunday dinner was a tradition in our friend group. Garrett and Amanda hosted. Usually 8 to 10 people, including Jessica and me. I told Jessica I'd be there. First time I'd agreed to see her in person since postponing the wedding 3 weeks ago. She was delighted. I've missed you so much, babe. This has been so hard. I arrived at Garrett's at 6 p.m. Everyone was there. Jessica rushed to hug me. I let her. Garrett shook my hand. Good to see you, man. How's your dad? Getting better. Thanks for asking. We ate. We laughed. I watched Garrett and Jessica carefully avoid looking at each other too long. I watched Amanda play the concerned friend to Jessica, asking how she was holding up during this stressful time. These people were actors. All of them. At 7:30 during dessert, I stood up. Hey everyone, can I have your attention for a second? The table quieted. Jessica smiled at me. Are you going to tell them about the new wedding date? Not exactly. I pulled out my phone. I'm going to play you all something I recorded 3 weeks ago. Some of you have already heard it. Some of you are featured in it. Jessica's face went white. Dominic? I hit play. My voice filled Garrett's dining room. Jessica's voice. Amanda's voice. The whole conversation about marrying me for my house, divorcing me for alimony, Garrett coaching her on fraud. I watched the room. 3 people didn't look surprised. Jessica, Garrett, and Amanda. Everyone else looked horrified. When the recording ended, silence. Then Garrett's voice, tight with anger. That recording is illegal. Actually, I said calmly, Vincent Russo, my attorney, says it's inadmissible in court but perfectly legal for me to play at a private dinner party. Especially since it features the voices of people in this room who can verify its authenticity. I looked at Jessica. She was crying. Not sad crying. Angry crying. You had no right. I had every right. You were planning to commit fraud. You were going to marry me under false pretenses, steal my assets, and falsely accuse me of abuse. That's not just morally wrong, Jessica. It's illegal. I turned to Garrett. And you, my best man. You helped her plan it. Garrett stood up. You don't understand? I understand perfectly. You helped her strategize how to rob me. Your cousin, the divorce attorney, must be very proud. Amanda was crying now too. But her tears looked different. She was looking at Garrett with something like horror. Garrett. Her voice was small. Tell me he's lying. Tell me this is fake. Garrett didn't answer. One of our friends, James, stood up. I think we should go. People started gathering their things. The party was over. Jessica grabbed my arm. We need to talk. Privately. No, I said simply. We don't. You'll be receiving a formal end to our engagement in writing from my attorney. All your belongings that are at my house will be packed and available for pickup at a time coordinated through him. Do not contact me directly. Do not come to my home. Any further communication will be considered harassment. You're overreacting. I wasn't actually going to. I played another recording. This one from Sandra, the PI. Jessica's voice. If Dominic doesn't set a new date soon, I'm done. Garrett's right, I need to find someone else. I'm not wasting my 30s on a man who won't marry me. Garrett's voice. I have a colleague who just got divorced. Plenty of money, kind of lonely. Want me to introduce you? Jessica's face crumpled. I left Garrett's house and didn't look back. The next 72 hours were chaos. Garrett called me 47 times. I didn't answer. Jessica showed up at my house. I changed the locks. She banged on the door for 20 minutes before my lawyer called her and threatened a restraining order. Amanda called my sister Rachel, sobbing. Apparently, she hadn't known Garrett was helping Jessica. She thought it was just girl talk about cold feet. When she realized Garrett was actively coaching Jessica on how to commit fraud against his supposed best friend, she lost it. She filed for divorce on Tuesday. Our friend group imploded. Some people took Jessica's side, saying I humiliated her publicly and should have handled it privately. Those people got cut off immediately. Most people, though, were horrified. James sent me a long text apologizing for not seeing through Jessica. Others reached out offering support. My parents, however, had a different reaction. I went to their house on Wednesday to tell them everything in person. My mother's response? You're going to look vindictive, Dominic. People will think you're cruel. I stared at her. Mom, she was planning to rob me and falsely accuse me of abuse. I understand that, but publicly humiliating her? Playing that recording in front of all your friends? That's not how we handle things in this family. Think about how this makes us look. How this makes you look? My father jumped in. Your mother's right. This could have been handled quietly. Now everyone knows our family business. Do you know how embarrassing this is for us at the club? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Dad, she was committing fraud. Then you should have called off the wedding quietly and moved on. Instead, you've created a spectacle. People are talking. It reflects poorly on all of us. My sister Rachel, who was there, exploded. Are you kidding me? Dominic's the victim here. Dominic made himself a victim when he chose to broadcast his private matters, my mother said coldly. He should have been the bigger person. That's when I realized, my parents cared more about their reputation than they cared about me. I stood up. You're right. I should have handled this differently. I should have realized years ago that you value appearances over your own son's well-being. Consider this me being the bigger person. I'm done. Don't be dramatic, my father said. I'm not. I'm being clear. You just told me I should have quietly let myself be defrauded and slandered to protect your reputation at your country club. That tells me everything I need to know about where I stand in this family. I left. Rachel called me an hour later. They're furious. Mom says you're being disrespectful. They chose their reputation over their son. That's not me being disrespectful. That's me having self-respect. I'm proud of you, Rachel said. For what it's worth. Was worth a lot. 2 weeks after the dinner party explosion, Jessica tried a new strategy. She showed up at my office. Building security called me. Mr. Castellano? There's a Jessica Lawson here to see you. She says it's urgent. Tell her I'm not available and she needs to leave. She's refusing. She says she'll wait. I called Vincent. He sent a cease and desist letter to building security within 30 minutes. Jessica was escorted out and banned from the property. Then she tried social media. She posted a long Instagram story about toxic masculinity and men who can't handle strong women. She didn't name me, but anyone who knew us would know. The comments were split. Some people supported her. Most people called her out. One comment from someone I didn't know, "Girl, we all heard the recording. You tried to rob him. Take the L and move on." She deleted the story within an hour. Then she tried the nuclear option. She called my work and told them I was emotionally unstable and making threats. HR called me in. I brought Vincent and the recordings. The HR director listened to everything, then looked at me. Mr. Castellano, we're very sorry you're dealing with this. We'll be documenting this as harassment. If she contacts this office again, we'll pursue legal action. They sent Jessica a letter making that very clear. She finally stopped. But Garrett didn't. Garrett's divorce from Amanda was ugly. She took him for everything. The house, the cars, his retirement. She had a good attorney and proof that Garrett had been helping someone commit fraud, which demonstrated moral turpitude and damaged his credibility. He blamed me. He sent me an email, "You destroyed my life over a misunderstanding." Jessica was joking. You know how women talk. But you had to be vindictive. You had to ruin me. I hope you're happy. I forwarded it to Vincent, who forwarded it to Amanda's attorney. The Jessica was joking line undermined Garrett's entire defense that he didn't know about the plan. Then Garrett tried to turn our mutual friends against me. He told anyone who'd listened that I'd overreacted and destroyed 2 relationships over nothing. Most people didn't buy it. They'd heard the recordings. They knew what Jessica and Garrett had planned. But a few people, mostly Garrett's college friends who didn't know me well, started posting vague things on social media about cancel culture and not getting both sides. I didn't engage. Vincent advised me not to. Let them talk, he said. You have documentation. You have witnesses. You have the moral high ground. Don't wrestle with pigs. You both get dirty and the pig likes it. Meanwhile, Jessica was apparently spiraling. I heard through mutual friends that she'd been fired from her teaching job. Not because of me, she'd been sleeping with Garrett during school hours and someone reported it to the principal. Moral turpitude clause in her contract. She moved back in with her parents in Arizona. I felt nothing. The woman I thought I'd loved was a stranger. The relationship I'd cherished was a lie. All I felt was relief that I'd discovered the truth before legally binding myself to her. 6 months after the dinner party explosion, I'm in a different place. Literally, I sold my house. Too many memories. Too much of Jessica's energy embedded in the walls. I made a $400,000 profit and bought a smaller condo downtown. Fresh start. I'm in therapy working through trust issues and anger. My therapist says I'm handling it remarkably well, considering. I don't think I'm handling it well. I think I'm just numb. Rachel and I are closer than ever. She's been my rock through all of this. My parents and I aren't speaking. They sent a card on my birthday with a note. When you're ready to apologize for embarrassing the family, we'd love to hear from you. I threw it away. I started dating again last month. Casually. Nothing serious. I'm not ready for serious. But I went on a coffee date with a woman named Lisa. She's a software engineer at a different company. We talked about coding and bad bosses and favorite sci-fi books. She didn't ask about my past relationships. I didn't volunteer. At the end she said, "This was nice. Want to do it again?" I said yes. It wasn't fireworks. It wasn't destiny. It was just nice. And nice, I've learned, is underrated. Garrett tried to contact me again last week. He sent a letter, actual physical mail, saying he wanted to make amends and talk like adults. I burned it. Some bridges once burned should stay ashes. Jessica, last I heard, is engaged again. Some guy she met on a dating app 3 months ago. They're getting married in Vegas next month. I almost feel sorry for him. Almost. But mostly I feel grateful. Grateful that I overheard that conversation. Grateful that I found out before signing a marriage certificate. Grateful that I had the resources and support to protect myself. A lot of people aren't that lucky. A lot of people marry their Jessicas and don't find out until it's too late. Until they're financially ruined and emotionally destroyed. I got out. And yeah, it cost me my best friend, my fiancée, my parents' respect, and half my friend group. But I kept my house. Well, the profit from it. I kept my savings. I kept my dignity. And I learned something valuable. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Jessica showed me she was a con artist. Garrett showed me he valued money over loyalty. My parents showed me they valued reputation over their son. I believed all of them. And I acted accordingly. People ask me if I regret playing that recording at dinner. If I regret going nuclear. I don't. Because the alternative was spending 18 months married to a woman who saw me as a paycheck. The alternative was losing half my net worth to fraud. The alternative was being falsely accused of abuse. The alternative was letting them win. So no, I don't regret it. I regret trusting the wrong people. I regret ignoring red flags. I regret not getting a prenup when my gut told me to. But I don't regret burning it down. Because that fire cleared the ground for something real to grow. I don't know what that something is yet. Maybe it's Lisa. Maybe it's someone I haven't met. Maybe it's just me, alone, finally okay with my own company. But whatever it is, it'll be built on truth. Not pretty lies and prenup tears and secret plans to rob me blind. Just truth. And that's enough. That's more than enough. If you're in a relationship where something feels off, trust your gut. If someone pressures you to skip a prenup, that's a red flag. If your friends are coaching your partner on how to take advantage of you, they're not your friends. And if your family values their reputation more than your well-being, you don't owe them anything. Not loyalty. Not silence. Not your suffering. You owe yourself the truth, even when it burns. Especially when it burns. If this story resonated with you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss another story. Drop a comment below telling me what you would have done in my situation. And remember, protect yourself, protect your assets, and never ignore your instincts. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.